And welcome back to the Eager Saturnalia Open. My name is Freight Train. I'm going to be back on the mic for one more game, and I get to cast with my favorite buddy, Gormizer. Man, what's going on?
Not much. We just saw a pretty dominating performance from Cyclone GG, and all in all, kind of what you would expect to see from a pro team. And like you said, me and you have casted together so many times that this is going to be fun all around.
Oh, definitely all around. And speaking of fun, why not go ahead and get yourself in-game as well? Get yourself some Smite action 3 times everything. Experience, worshippers, favor, the whole shebang. Go ahead and get yourself in-game and playing while you're enjoying some casting. But obviously, we hope you enjoy the casting and then get to playing some Smite. But let's get into the picks and bans. You might not recognize the name of the team. This is going to be Stinky Cheese versus Feminist. But when we get into the game, you'll see the rosters, and you guys should be pleasantly surprised.
Well, actually, just building off of that, one team you will recognize every member of, and if you follow the Challenges Cup at all this year, you should be able to recognize some of the other members. I think that we are going to have a very interesting game on our hands just because while I don't think they were at the top. Some of them were at the top of the European Challenges Cup, so they have this potential.
Yeah, I remember. This could be an opportunity. We do see the Freya and Susanoo banned out first and foremost. Those are going to be out of the way. And now looking into the second ban phase, why not go ahead and get rid of that Terra? No one wants to deal with that support. I mentioned it earlier to Verb. Just one of the best supports in the game. I think overall, most teams/players agree with that.
And another thing we've seen almost universally all day, it's been kind of shaky depending on who you watch, but Freya has been banned relatively standardly, kind of like Terra, where she's just crazy. Very strong. She's very potent. And she's kind of hard to deal with if you just leave her alone. You have to be able to keep on her. So getting rid of her, keeping her out of the game is going to be very beneficial.
Oh, and we get it. Get your marks ready. Here we go. Nike is in the game. Now, I haven't actually watched any games with her today in there, so we'll see how the performance goes on Nike. This is unbuffed, so this is pre the new nerfs that she's going to, or unnerfed, I should say. This is going to be pre the patch, so we'll see how that 60% slow and everything comes. So
last game we actually saw Nike picked up in the second pick phase. She was picked up for the Chaos side team, and she went to that support role. Didn't perform, I feel like, the way most people expected her to. But to be fair, she was up against an Kuang, so having that Kuang on Feminist here is actually going to be relatively strong for them if they play it right. And I feel like this could spell a little bit of trouble for Stinky Cheese.
We'll see how they run it, but they're going to go ahead and get their dual lane set up. The Jing Sylvanus is going to be the two players or the two gods in the dual lane. Sylvanus with the heals, obviously AoE auto attacks, good clear that's going to come from their side. They should have lane pressure depending on what ends up happening in the picks and bans.
Sylvanus is interesting to me just because normally we only see him come out on land because the pull at 0 ping is really, really nice, but playing on servers, playing in this kind of area, it's going to be a little shaky for them. Geb getting picked up. He's been favored relatively heavily today.
The shield is very potent. If you can get any sort of shield, you're going to end up being in a positive way. And he has knockups. His ultimate's pretty good. It's a good character pick. I like Geb a lot, honestly, in the support role. I think he's a little underrated. But the bans, they're not going to deal with any healing. Ra is going to be eliminated. Ice's Circle of Protection going to be taken out of the mix as well. So there go the secures for the early Gold Furies.
And with Vulcan being taken off the board, that's going to take a big burst ultimate. Vulcan is one of those hit or miss kind of gods, I feel. Throwing out the turret, he's got a lot of damage he can use, and his ultimate can chunk people, but only if he's able to hit it. And the long cast time that it has, or the long travel time that it has, really kind of deficits his ability to kind of get that. It's really good for stealing Gold Furies or Fire Giant if he's able to shoot it on time, but nothing too surprising there.
Yeah, the last four... I was going to say the last four bans are all mages, so all of a sudden a lot of burst damage is going to be taken away. We'll see how the objective secure ends up being played out. But we still do have a couple of mid laners available, and that looks to be, we have, what do we got being picked here?
So Scylla being picked up, I feel like Vulcan would have been better had that ban been the Scylla. Knowing what I know just about Scylla, she's going to be very strong. She's got a little bit stronger early game than she used to, especially with Soulstone more than likely going to be picked up early on to kind of help that. Crush is going to do a lot of damage, and throughout the game, I expect to see this be dominant. Zeus on the other side, tons of damage. The man has big AoEs. This is going to be a fun mid matchup.
Oh, why not go ahead and give Emilio some Neith action? That's a pretty standard pick for him. he should be pretty happy with that right there going into the duel lane with a Geb. Again, the pressure might be in favor of blue with, what they've got in the Sylvanus and Jing Wei, but realistically, it is a Neith, should be able to clear relatively easily. Really, honestly, this game could go either way. We have, again, a very well-known rosters happening here in the quarterfinals. I'm ready to jump into the game, Gore. Are you?
I'm absolutely ready, and moving into it, we will see Stinky Cheese just kind of having this going through. They do have the Nike on their side. They have the Jing Wei. Both of those are considered pretty strong right now, so I'm expecting to see them have some really beneficial fights. But on the other side, you got Kuang, you got Scylla, you've got emilitoo on that Neith. Yeah, when you look at it, it's a
look at the names there. Look at feminist side. I mean, this is a lot of NRG guys. Everyone knows adapting, and then you got PrettyPriMe that's hanging out here, Yammyn. Everyone. You got a stacked roster over here on the Chaos side. Whereas, again, you look at Stinky Cheese, a lot of these Challenger Cup players / subs that have been in, maybe a sub to game or two for the SPL. Lace, well-known ADC. I casted a bunch of him in the EU Challenger Cup. He's always playing that Jing Wei as well. Again, we'll see if they can end up beating this professional level team, and I'll be excited.
I actually remember one of the days that I got to sub in and cast with you on the European Challengers Cup. Gorgonzolla is definitely another player not to underestimate here, just because his Naja is relatively strong, even though Naja not necessarily the most favorite character, and it looks like we'll be seeing an invade.
Yeah, they want to go for the invade. They do have the Wrath on top of this Naja, so that's to be noted right there. They should be able to easily secure this buff, and they will. Gorgonzolla will go ahead and pick that up. Zyrhoes is going to end up using that wall. I mean, look at that. The fact that you could switch stances, just cleave, and he'll walk away. But again, the buff did get taken.
It's taken away, and they're actually going to eat a little bit more from the ring toss. They're looking to chase down Nike, but everyone's just going to go back to the lane. All in all, in favor of Stinky Cheese, but like you had mentioned, Zyrhoes on this tier, having the 2 cleaves, should be a little bit stronger, might be able to take a fight.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it looks like they're just going to kind of let these minions push in. They don't have much options, I mean, especially since Gorgon, Urine are going to hit level 2. So not a lot they can do, but Imps will end up going the way of blue as well. Let's see how quickly they can go ahead and get their own speed buff and blue buff.
I'm actually kind of perturbed by the fact that Lace is already alone. We've seen Fusify on the Sylvanus already rotate over into the mid lane. So they're going 2-on-1 there, but it's 2-on-1 with the Jing Wei. The clear just isn't quite strong enough. She's kind of suffering.
Well, this is the counter method you would think. It's like, hey, if your support's going to go ahead and leave the lane super early, why not go ahead and last hit? Yammyn's going to end up getting rooted and pulled, and well, there goes the Wisp, going to do a little bit of damage, but I mean, this is a Geb that has 2 more health potions available to Watcher's Gift. He's going to be able to heal off relatively fine. Shouldn't be too big of an issue.
So something that I feel is a standard practice of stealing the back camps is a little bit unorthodox, because again, Fusify over here with the support, I'm kind of excited that Stinky Cheese is changing just a little bit. They're using that support. They're just walking around as a 3-man, so they have a little bit more control in any of the fights they want to pick up, as adapting, going deep into the jungle, looking for another backhand steal.
Yeah, I mean, you got to stay unpredictable, and he is going to get that backhand, it looks like. But here in the mid lane, we do have a nice crush knockup going to come through. Yammyn in a little bit of trouble. So he's all right as his teammate. Now here comes Emil. He's going to get ring bounced, though, and, well, he'll be able to use the 2 on Neith and get a little bit of that health back.
All in all, both teams playing relatively careful, and at this point, we're in round 4. This is the quarterfinals, so knowing what they know, everyone's kind of playing a little bit more carefully because a little bit more is riding on this.
This is very much for gem placements.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so the payouts, if anyone doesn't know, again, I mean, top 4 are going to end up getting cash prize. And then the top 8, the remaining 4 do get gems. So, I mean, this is your placement into gems or whatnot. So, obviously, these are going to be more important games. So, we're going to see these taken a little bit more seriously. And, this is why we haven't seen anything too crazy yet. Just under 3 minutes in the game, these elementals will go to blue, split 3 ways.
I will tell you, I'm a little bit floored. Right now, Stinky Cheese has had a gold advantage. They have a little bit of an experience advantage. And for the most part, they've been kind of controlling the map. They've gotten the fire elementals the most. They've gotten the most mid camps. This is something I'd expect to see, Feminists doing. This is something that these players are very good at, but they just seem to be wrong place at the wrong time.
We'll see if they can fix that timing on things. Maybe some ward coverage will help. We do have 1 blue ward placed out here. You see the pings happening over by the speed buff. They're really trying to go ahead and get this. Nike is making her way over here, but they will end up finding a level 5 PrettyPriMe. Adapting, though, how close is he to 5? He's still about a quarter way, so he's not going to have his ultimate. Gorgonzolla is going to get ulted by the Neith, and the PrettyPriMe will capitalize for first blood.
Now we're going to see Wrath of Terror come up into the air, getting the nice knock-up. Zeus ultimate doing tons of damage. Zero's going to get a little bit of a heal, but FaraKrik picking that one up, returning the kill for his team.
8 HP, PrettyPriMe wants it, but the body blocks are so good, but PrettyPriMe ends up still getting it. Oh, Nike tried. I gotta admit, the body blocks were really good and really strong, but unable to get that, unable to secure the way out for PrettyPriMe.
For a fresh little taste of the fight coming between these teams, I mean, all the ultimates were used on the side of Feminist Initiative, and all but 2 were used on the side of Stinky Cheese. So knowing that these teams are kind of preparing themselves, and obviously Jing wasn't anywhere near that fight, I feel like this is setting up for a very, very close game, surprisingly enough, that we see these top-tier players on one side. I'm kind of wondering if maybe they're not taking the game as seriously or what's going on just because they don't recognize anybody on the other team.
I mean, they got to recognize him from the rank scene. You would think about that. But, I mean, you said Jing wasn't involved in that fight. But guess who was from using the ultimate? That would be the World Weaver from Neith. That was a game changer there. All of a sudden, you're going to get knocked up by Geb. Emil's going to be able to sit there and just lock in on the target, get a nice stun. And that just led PrettyPriMe to a very simple he's not going to miss that one, guys. Like, you know, this is PrettyPriMe here. He's going to hit that ultimate every day of the week. And he finds himself getting the delayed double. So he's up 2 kills. To really, well, the one that Fair ended up getting, but that first blood bonus is going to give him those pen boots online first. So power spike advantage going over to the mid lane, but up on the right side.
Zero's taken up into the air, going to be taken down with a lot of damage. Gorgonzolla going to pick up that one. Now we have adapting. He's trying to fight. He's level 5 though, and he's fighting a 7 and an 8. He is just not getting the farm he wants, and he is falling slowly but surely behind.
That's not good. And then you're going to have the Sylvanus with the Wisp end up killing PrettyPriMe over here. That's just actually the ultimate was used as the spectator client. Does have the diamond out. Yeah, I mean, look, Wrath of Terror does a lot of damage right there. And that's just going to end up being a pretty simple kill with PrettyPriMe getting just picked out with 3 people. And they might try to go for the sub 6-minute Gold Fury here, but maybe never mind. Emil, as soon as he uses his backflip, he's going to be in trouble.
And it's going to be used. Gorgonzola going for the sash, is going to find it, forces the purification. They're still chasing down the kill, getting about half health, but not going to dive the tower quite yet. It's a little bit too early to do anything like that, and they take a little bit too much damage. And playing safe right now is the name of the game.
Great purification. I mean, you saw the sash was coming, doesn't even get rooted in place, sashes it out or beats it out, unable to sit there, walk under tower. Now going to backflip aggressively. Now they're looking for the counter. Yammyn does have an ultimate. There's the Cataclysm. Are they going to end up getting this kill? And it looks like that is going to be some food for adapting. As he's going to go up in the air. He'll have his choice, and he'll just land right back down the lane.
Now Lace and FaraKrik going to be kind of sitting back. Lace still going to be in this kind of 1v2 scenario, but it so far hasn't really been stopping them from getting anything accomplished. He's stayed online with emilitoo. He's a little bit behind, but emilitoo has 2 assists, and all in all, actually went hi-rez first, which is a little bit unorthodox, I want to say, but I feel like on Neith, it's not something that's terrible.
No, I mean, the hi-rez is going to get that mana regen, and again, like, once you hit the spirit arrow, and then you go ahead and guaranteed auto attack, you are going to get that extra bonus power. I guess that's kind of what he's looking for. I mean, it makes sense to go ahead and give it a shot. Again, you know, we mentioned that this is just a fun tournament. Yeah, there is money and gems on the line as the Gold Fury does get taken by Stinky Cheese, but why not go ahead and try something and see how it works out? You know, this is the type of place to go ahead and do that. There's, you know, no judgment. No one's going to really be like, oh my God, can't believe you built that. It's just, you know, you're trying to figure things out and play along with it.
No wards or vision on the Gold Fury, so that was a relatively free Gold Fury for Stinky Cheese. There was nothing really for them to accomplish other than get it and get that gold ahead, and it looks like Gorgonzola might be trying to shut down emilitoo a little further. Lace getting a little bit low, but emilitoo now going to be going up into the air.
Oh, up in there, yeah. Now all of a sudden we should see this kill. I mean, does he even have the persistent gust? No, Lace did not. I'm a little surprised he just didn't throw the one down, and that's actually... Oh, I thought he was going to die. If Lace throws the one underneath where that is going to land, I think he kills him.
That was incredibly close, not only for Lace, but also for emilitoo, as now we're going to have adapting, rotating over, emilitoo coming through. Lace finally going to fall down here. Gorgonzola going to get taken down, executed and eaten by adapting, and it looks like we're just going to see Feminist Initiative back away here. And why not? They got 2 kills. They got what they needed. They've almost evened out the gold lead.
Yeah, that was a really strong dive right there, able to sit. And again, I think that kind of comes off of the small Lace misplay, not using the one to sit there and just really bounce up the Neith again. And you probably would have got another auto attack. And maybe you don't get the kill, but Emil's going to have to back up a little bit further than what he was. And Well, you end up losing 2 members. Now Fair is in a 3v1 scenario in the mid lane. Speed buff invade is going to be happening. Zyrhoes over here, he's level 9 versus, what do we have Nike here? 2 levels down, so he is struggling to solo lane, but I'm a monster's popped in the mid.
Yeah, FaraKrik not going to be able to escape that using the purification. I feel like, yeah, that was maybe a misclick. As the fight continues on, Yammyn getting low, gonna be taken down. PrettyPriMe now standing alone, gonna be taking some chunks hits from Lace. He's gonna go in the ult, and he's gonna get it.
Yeah, on the back end, they ended up shelling really nothing. I don't understand what happened there. Lace is now in a 1v1 fight. Here comes the friends to come through 2v1. And Emil has to find himself charging his ulti, but who's he going to go on? I don't really think he has any kill potential.
As Zyrhoes is here, he's going to get a lot of damage down onto Lace. A nice 2-man Fearless, but Lace having that Jing way is going to be able to dash away as Yunerity in the backline trying to fight.
Well, I mean, isn't Nike? He does not have his ultimate available, but the meditation was good. Now here comes the tier, trying to get anything he can. The dash is good. Will he be able to get this Fearless combination? Fair is he's about half HP and just could not find him as, again, the body blocks. The Stinky Cheese doing a really good job of staying in front of each other and peeling.
I don't want to mean to sound like I'm talking down to the team, but I'm kind of surprised at how close the team play is. They're playing very close knit. They must have good comms going for them because they are always standing with each other, always able to take those body blocks like you've mentioned a few times. They are playing a lot better than I thought we were going to see.
A lot of small things going right for Stinky Cheese right now, and I think that's the big difference here, whereas a lot of the small things that you would expect feminists and these type of players to get their advantage, like adapting. He's sitting at level 10. He's now even with 2 kills, but it took him a little while to get going, but he's still on Kuang. This is still an execute-based god. He's still going to be a really annoying to deal with when it comes down to the late game factor, as he'll just be able to eat Sylvanus and take away the support at any point in time. We'll see how it plays out. As long as Adapting can keep going on this Kuang and get his farm, he should be the reason, if they can win this game, why they win this game.
And accompanying with PrettyPriMe on Scylla, it should be very strong for a Feminist Initiative as they transition later into the game. Right now, they've been taking a few hits that I feel like they haven't been wanting to, but if they can come back, I mean, they have a little over a minute until the Gold Fairy comes back, so they have a little bit more, and there's a ton of gold still on the map. I mean, all 12 towers across the board are still up, so there's still time for someone to grab a lead and push it as far as they can.
Oh, yeah, plenty of time for leads. Again, 60 seconds until that Gold Fairy is up. We do have a Lace just hanging out here on the left-hand side, last hitting. Trying to zone out Emil here the best he can. And again, I mean, we hadn't seen this play the whole tournament previously, and you don't see a lot of it other than the higher competitive games. A lot of teams just kind of, don't care about the fact of last hitting, but Lace trying to get every single advantage he can, every single minion, and he's, again, that's why he's up a level, or was up a level. I think he just hit 12.
Yeah, and he has a slight advantage having the 2 kills under his belt, giving him that little bit of extra experience. And the speed buff going to be 4-man split. I feel like we just see Stinky Cheese. They're staying as a close-knit group. They know what they need to accomplish, and they know that if they fall out of position, they will get picked apart. Feminist Initiative is the kind of team that will take any small mistake they can and push it to the limit. But as it stands, they're the ones that are losing a red buff. Just got stolen away.
Yeah, I mean, this has got to be a protect Zeus strategy here, as again, Fair is going to ult him, but he's going to get ulted, but the purification was good to get out of the Cataclysm. They're just chasing the Zeus. PrettyPriMe going for the raw. I'm a monster, will not connect on it, but the Fearless is good. Now Fair is in the middle of it. He's going to ult on top on the left-hand side, and they're just running away. At least Prime is.
And we're going to be seeing someone get taken up into the air. Gorgonzolla going to be coming crashing down. Yammyn really close to dying, and it's going to get picked up. Nike credit for that one. Emilitoo, the only one left, going to get sashed down. Purification forced. But with the backflip, might be able to escape, but there are 4 members chasing him, and they do not want to drop this kill.
So Adapting is on the backside looking to go ahead and kill Zeus. Emil on the front side is trying to fight this 1v4. Now Prime's finally back. Adapting gets the kill off screen finally on Fair. The blink in by Zyrhoes. Fusify will end up falling to Prime again one more time after a great Blink Fearless combination. And here comes Feminist. They're looking to make this comeback.
And this is the kind of fight they needed. They're able to get the picks. Adapting's laying in wait. He's able to come in. He's going to get some damage down, looking for anything to help his team. Gorgonzola going to get taken down against the wall. And now Yunerity trying to run away and doing pretty much all he can to get away. Zyrhoes, PrettyPriMe are still looking for him, though.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to continue this chase. Why not? Zyrhoes is full HP. He's 2 levels down, but he's not worried about it. He's a tier. Let's see exactly. Yeah, he's got everything maxed out. He's only got 1 point into that 3 right there, this stance switch. So he's only going to get a little bit more annoying to deal with, a little bit of a power boost and spike. As the TP came in, here comes Nike. I mean, she's 1v4.
And she's going to be fighting. Gold Fury does get leashed, though, so I feel like that was worth it. She came in
yeah.
alone, used her ult, but dropped the Gold Fury from Feminist, so allowed them to maintain the lead they have and possibly start up the Gold Fury for themselves, but Zyrhoes can see you.
Yeah, I mean, just might as well throw it out there a little bit. But yeah, it was a great use of the ulti. Just, hey, man, when I have a 60% health shield right now, until that gets nerfed, what are you really going to do? There's walk in, full health, ult, slow everybody. You have to go away. At some point in time, the team is going to come up, and that's what they did. That really is going to slow down Feminist's attempt to get a further lead. I mean, they are still technically, looking at the graphs, a few hundred gold behind.
And it looks like they might be able to extend that a little bit. And Yammyn going to be backing off, though, not going to get caught out as easily as we thought. Stinky Cheese not having the grouping they want, but they are going to be able to take out emilitoo. Lace getting a solo kill.
Woo! Solo kills all day long. Let's go Lace again. This is a character he likes to play. That's going to end up being his third, and Zyrhoes is going to just ult. Nice ultimate. Sanctuary is out. And now here comes the jump in. Yuri's going to try to peel for him. A nice knockup, though. Going to get a couple. Can the Wisp keep the Sylvanus alive? A nice sash in. He's going to go ahead and ult Zyrhoes in the air. The peel is so good for Stinky Cheese.
Yammyn and PrettyPriMe got out of there, and Adapting actually gets caught on a ward. I believe they're going to go for a counter gank on him. He's trying to get through, looking for a kill. Going to use the blink. He might be able to find Fusify here, and he's going to go up into the air with the dragon form. The question is, where is he going to land?
He's not going to land anywhere near the tower. Yeah, he's might as well just go ahead and run away as those archers following him, those archer shots. But what can Adapting do versus this Gold Fury? I don't even know if he knows what's going on. Looks to be a freebie as Yammyn's maybe making an attempt. Maybe he can get a knock-up here and steal it, but no, Wrath is available. I kind of forgot about that, actually. I haven't talked about it, as Neith does have that secure. Last time we saw Wrath really get used was the speed buff invade, and we kind of forgot about it until now.
And that is going to be the target painted on Gorgonzola's back because, I mean, 15 minutes into the game, give it a few more minutes, that Fire Giant, and give it 5 more minutes, that Gold Fury when it respawns, are going to be big objectives. Gorgonzola having that Wrath is something that Feminist Initiative have to take down. They don't have one online. They've got all of their relics already. If they don't take him out, they essentially give up the objective.
Let's take a look at the relic since we're talking about the Wrath being on the Gorgonzola. He's obviously got that, about to pick up his second relic. Sylvanus is still 11. He's looking for his second relic. Maybe he'll grab a sprint or something. But on the other side, I wanted to point out 3 blinks. Look, 3 blinks. So this is going to be, blinks are great for the mobility and what you can do. But I am curious to only see the one team fighting relic in one shell. I don't see another curse. I don't see a sprint for themselves. And that might come to hurt, especially with Nike's slow. I mean, that is a very brutal slow not to be able to sprint out of.
And it makes sense for some of the blinks, obviously, Tyr having that to get into the back line, use that Fearless to take out someone like FaraKrik or Lace. But so far, it hasn't worked out for him. Almost every time he's gotten towards the back line, Gorgonzola gets the stun, takes him up in the air, and allows his team to set up the damage. As mid-tier 1 going to fall down, Stinky Cheese take the first tower of the game.
I mean, again, another late first tower. Me and Verb just had that other, or you guys just had that other game, and so on and so forth. These towers are getting taken later and later, which means the games are better and better. Let's be honest. I mean, early towers normally means one team's really far ahead. Late towers like this means it's an even game, and that's what we really want to see, as Yuri, again, is just kind of bullying this tier right now. He's going for anything he can. He's going to get Sash, take a decent amount of health, Fearless away, and he's still in a 2v1 scenario.
And Zero is going to be slowly but surely ticked down. He does have enough health. He's tanky enough to just walk away from this. And it does force him to fall back a little bit, but so far, Stinky Cheese, I think they wanted to get more out of that than they were able to. They seem to put a lot of effort into attacking Zyrhoes there and really kind of chased him for no reason.
I mean, just wasting abilities at the tier. You're really not going to, I mean, you need a lot of burst to be able to kill that guy, and it's just not really going to happen. As, again, we're going back to the farming. Look at Adapting. He's just trying to get anything he can anywhere. He picks up the red buff from the enemy side of things. Speed is down over here. Look at, they're just waiting. Look, they don't know what's happening. All of a sudden, they're just waiting around the rocks to sit there and gang somebody up, and they're looking for anything. But they don't take the bait.
Yeah, speaking of Adapting's farming, earlier he was actually 2 or 3 levels behind Gorgonzola, now sitting 3 levels ahead. And is 5-0-1. Last game we saw an Kuang that was just as strong as this. And I feel like Adapting is the kind of player who can turn this into a very large, very damaging Kuang as he goes through it. Zyrhoes once again going to go straight into 5 members, taken up into the air. That was a confusing play to me, but he might get saved. No, he does fall. Yammyn going to get a stun, though.
That's a very brutal play. I mean, again, 1v5, you're going to lose a lot. Prime is in the ulti. What can he do? Adapting already has one. Lace ends up sanctuarying out PrettyPrime's ulti, but down goes Adapting on top of Lace. He's going to airstrike away. He wants nothing to do with the Dragon that is currently 6-0-1.
Is it worth to trade your support for the solo laner? I feel like they're almost swappable in this kind of circumstance. I do feel like Zyrhoes might be able to do a little bit more for his team.
A little less healing, maybe, the Sylvanus and what it can offer. I guess maybe that's the only thing you can think of is that's why, as Yammyn's going to have to end up going away here. Prime with the nice root, going to take down a couple percentage of HP of Yuri, but he should be fine. Blue buff is going. But yeah, you know, the trade-out is even, as you were mentioning, and you kind of lose the support, which heals a little bit, and again, you're going to lose the solo laner, which heals, so that's kind of a wash right there. But defending that tier 1 tower with his life was Zyrhoes.
And it looks like it might all be in vain, as the tier 1 is going to fall right here. They were able to find one return kill in the fight, but ultimately Zyrhoes comes back to a tower being destroyed.
So, you know, normally we kind of talk about these turning points in Smite, and they normally start happening around this 20-minute mark. The Gold Fury comes up in about 40 seconds. You know, Fire Giant is availability, you know, already, again, with the Wrath online, but that's going to be down for about 40 more seconds. We will see where the game starts to open up, because at some point in time, these teams are so close. I mean, it is only a 3K gold lead. I still call that close. This can go either way, especially with the experience being really non-existent as far as the lead goes.
And with teams like these, small mistakes can mean the difference. Even if you're 10K behind, while that does give a distinct advantage to whoever has that lead, it can be taken down very easily if you just happen to fall out of position. Looks like Jing Wei is going to be getting stunned out the minute she comes down. Lace taking a lot of damage, but Adapting didn't commit to it. The wards catching out the rotation. Didn't want to get caught out.
That was really key. Honestly, if Adapting stays any longer, he's probably dead, as, again, the whole team. I mean, look how quickly they respawn. You know, that's got to be just in the comms of getting Neith ulted, Adapting's here. You know, I'm using Perfect, just run away. I mean, you got to be quick on that. And all of a sudden, the whole team responded by moving that way. And again, Jing Wei with the mobility, airstrike, very potent, and able to get away from it.
I'm a little bit upset that PrettyPrime, while we've said his name a few times and while Scylla has had an impact, I just feel like it isn't the same that we would expect out of Scylla, especially from his level of play.
They haven't been able to get the CC.
They haven't been able to lock anyone down and get the damage for him.
I mean, the blink in by Yammyn is going to get purified out early. Great job by Gorg again, and PrettyPrime ults nothing right there, as he thought the Gold Fury was still going on. Now the fight continues on the front and the back line, as Prime is going to get jumped on. Yuri gets that, and then Farah cleans up Adapting. Oh man, this is bad.
Late's taking a little bit of damage, but they're going to continue down the chase. It looks like emilitoo's trying to run away, and with a successful backflip might be able to get out. Yammyn going to be falling down. Zyrhoes now standing in 5, but a beautiful 3-man Fearless going to be able to pick up 1 kill. Sanctuary going to save Lace, though, and not allow him to get the double.
Oh, Emil with the Spirit Arrow to the face is going to end up cleaning up Lace. He backflips into the tower. He's trying to do anything. Zyrhoes is there, trying to get anything he can as well. The heal was good, only for a little bit, though. Only got 1 member with the power cleave, so he's sitting at about half HP. But that fight, I don't know, you trade out 3 for 2 with maybe a possibility of a Gold Fury. Emil's ult is coming back up in about maybe 40 seconds or so. Really, what's the play here? You just took out 3 members.
And keeping Zyrhoes away like that is definitely going to be very advantageous. The Wrath is down, though, and I think Zyrhoes might kind of know that. He's still hovering around, and I feel like if Stinky Cheese don't do this, they actually are putting themselves in prime Fearless position and getting really low.
I like to disengage again, just way too low. The solo laner, I mean, level 18, you might be Nike and everything, but you're not really going to be able to do too much. Zyrhoes is just going to kind of heal up the Gold Fear a little bit. Everyone's going to disengage, and it looks like mid is where the party is at, as Farah is by himself versus 4. He'll kill him Sylvanus. He'll be joined up at least, so it's a 2v5 scenario. But speed buff, Adapting wants it. He wants to get it.
emilitoo's reaction time. Fusify threw out his pull, and emilitoo immediately canceled his ult and stepped just 1 step to the side to be able to dodge that. So reaction time showing they do still have these mechanics on lock. Right now, they just need to group up a little bit better. They're still about 3,000 gold behind overall. The experience, although, is pretty much spot on.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you have noticed, is that the XP is about the same. I mean, so when you kind of average everything out, Adapting is 2 levels above. But, you know, at the same time, we have Nike that's 2 levels above the tier. So the XP is really spread out among, it's just a couple of items here and there. And it's pretty much, when you look at the item builds, tier 1 items here and a tier 2 item there that's kind of finished up. So, I mean, the advantage is small. It's not to the point where Feminist can't fight into it.
I'm really liking the fact that we see Yammyn picking up the Pestilence, being able to kind of help put down the Sylvanus healing. The only other heal really coming out for Stinky Cheese is the Meditation, but that one's more negligible. You can kind of ignore that, but Sylvanus having that up on cooldown, you want to be able to do something about it. So knowing that Feminist Initiative is taking that into account, trying to do something about it, it's definitely going to be beneficial. As everyone's hovering over the Gold Fury again, I feel like we're going to see it started up, but I know Feminist Initiative know this is going on.
I mean, games are won and lost at objectives. Let's see what happens. Gold Fury are going to get secured very easily by Stinky Cheese. Nothing they can really do. PrettyPriMe going to throw out the Crush, do an okay amount of damage. But, man, Nike is so tanky. The Blink in, going to catch 2, but those are the 2 tanky targets.
Yammyn doing his best to just kind of be the front line, but his team's not really following up. PrettyPriMe going to come through, but misses everything he throws out, and that is going to change the pace of the game as we see Nike going into the back. I'm a Monster being forced just to get the movement speed and to run away, looking to throw the damage anywhere he can. It's going to connect, but with that shield, it's just not enough.
Oh, the anti-crits aren't going to matter as Geb is in the air. He might fall here. Oh, Yammyn able to shield himself and just get out, but Lace doesn't care. He comes around the backside, ends up taking a spill. Oh, Lace with that's going to be his 5th kill of the game. Looking for this tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. They get the Gold Fury. They're looking for the tower. They got 1 kill on Yammyn. I mean, it's looking better and better for Stinky Cheese to end up actually closing this game out. That 3-2 matchup we saw earlier where they got 3 kills to 2, and now the Gold Fury here really has been the turning point.
The tier 2 being taken down. Lace focusing this as perfect as he can. Gorgonzolla going into the backline. PrettyPriMe taking a ton of damage, and emilitoo being forced away as well. Zyrhoes doing his best to do anything, but all in all, he's just taking the damage as he goes into the backline. Adapting went up in the air, but I don't think he can do anything to help his team here.
Yeah, I mean, Adapting is the one person that might be able to get something, might be able to turn the fight around. If there's enough low members, if Prime can get a big crush off, or if anything along those lines, if he can get 1 execute and crash back down after waiting for some cooldowns and get himself a double or even a triple kill, that could change the game. And Adapting is 7-1-1. He's nearly fully built. He's got the Obsidian Shard. He's getting ready for the Rada Tahuti, I'm going to imagine, last year. But we will figure out if this game even lasts that long, as, again, Feminist, they're getting pushed in. I mean, they're down a couple towers on the left-hand side. They've only got the tier 2 in the mid and the solo lane remaining.
And the kills are even. When you look at the graphs, the experience is now skyrocketed way in favor of Stinky Cheese, mainly because of that last Gold Fury and that last team fight. But the gold difference is really the one to highlight. It's 7,000 in favor. Stinky Cheese
just blew up
have the item advantage.
Yeah, now all of a sudden, this is not just a tier 1 or a tier 2 item. This is a full-fledged tier 3 item that they're going to have an advantage on. You got a full Titan's Bane going on over here. You have the Wind Demon online and Executioner for Jingwei. She's building into her crit. Now, I mean, again, the power spike is very, very strong for Stinky Cheese, and now Feminists have to be careful. They really got to hope there's a big Cataclysm Crush combination, or, maybe Prime can get his reset.
And with the Wrath and the Burst that Stinky Cheese has, that's going to be a free Fire Giant. Yammyn came in, Zyrhoes came in right at the end of it, but they just kind of had to watch as it fell, and that right there is something like, that's the kind of thing you saw in Season 1, where Wrath was something you had to have, because otherwise you lose objectives like that.
I've always felt that if the one team has a Wrath, you're almost max range. Neja ulti for Adapting. He's got to be a little upset about that one, and he looks to possibly fall. Gorgonzolla showing how Neja is played. Max range ulti into the sash. Gets the kill on Adapting. That was maybe the winning card right there, as we're going to have a 5v3 scenario after 2 kills.
PrettyPriMe getting low, but emilitoo getting chunked down. Lace finding that one in just a few hits, and now it's going to be the tier 2.
It might just go down.
There's 2 people to defend, and PrettyPriMe, like we've mentioned it earlier, he just hasn't had the impact on this Scylla as he could have had. It's just been shut down a little bit too hard, and with this Phoenix going to be taken down, 2 members only to defend, this could be the Titan.
I think they're going straight for it. Lace has 7 kills. He's got a lot of damage online. Here we go. Cataclysm is there. The Crush is put out to try to deter any damage. 7,500 HP is the Titan. Now we're down to 5,000. They're just going for it. They're not going for the kills. Zeus holds on top. 2,000 HP. The Detonate will get the double, and the Titan, FaraKrik, ends up securing the win.
That was an incredibly close game, like every step of the way. And I'm surprised that if you had told me the team rosters, I would have said, okay, we're going to see Feminist Initiative throughout it, take chunks of the lead, like they're going to take the Gold Fury, move themselves ahead, and eventually they're just going to be so far ahead they can just kind of roll over everybody. knowing that they just lost,
That's
Stinky Cheese has kind of come out and shown their strength.
That was really impressive win. I'm happy to see something like that. I mean, you don't expect again, and this is the roster names, you might not recognize them on Stinky Cheese. I've seen them before in EU Challenger Cup, and I love watching these guys. It's really, really impressive that they were able to take on this win. And, realistically, it's all thanks to, hi-rez and everyone else allow us to run this tournament. I don't normally get to cast these type of guys, and I'm excited too. I know you are. And, like I said, we appreciate all the support that we've gotten from the hi-rez in order to run the tournament. And obviously, again, Team Eager is the one sponsoring it. My name's Freight Train. I am the community manager for Eager, and Gormizer is my #1 casting buddy, man. Aren't you?
Yeah, and it's going to be really fun. We have more games coming up after this. That was the quarterfinal, I believe. So we do still have semis and finals going on. And the next 2 rounds, they're playing for cash.
They are playing for cash. So I am going to step out, guys. I am done for the day for casting. We are going to have our special guest, F. is getting ready to come in here and cast with our very own D-Syncs. He's going to be doing the semifinals, which is a best of 3 matchup. And then the finals will be done by Gormizer, who you just heard here, along with Aggro. So they will be doing the finals matchups. So again, guys, stay tuned. Get ready for everything. We'll be right back.